Welcome back to Resonating Through Art. Today we'll be doing liquid core dice. So first you'll need some glass spheres that are open on an end. The sizes that will fit inside of your dice. Dice molds are different, so you'll just need to figure out what those are. So you'll need glycerin, water, and just a little bit of isopropyl alcohol for what I call the dice juice. This helps to keep things in solution. It's about a 1-to-1 on the water and glycerin. For the caps on the dice, if you take a paper punch and some acetate, what it will do is give you a nice little cap that'll fit over the holes. That makes it a little bit easier when you go to do the sealing with the UV resin. So inside of your spheres, you want to add whatever you want for solution, and less is more. You don't need a whole lot here. Mica powders work really great, so do glitters or a combination. This happens to be the holographic galaxy from Black Diamond. This is a very popular pigment. A lot of people make requests, so I thought I'd give this a shot. Once you have all of your pigment on the inside, you're going to slowly fill with your stirred up dice juice. So like I said, this is about a 1-to-1 ratio of water and glycerin with just a touch of the isopropyl alcohol to keep it from kind of fouling on the inside. Without the isopropyl alcohol, you might have some bacterial growth. And you just slowly fill it up. This can take some time, and if the holes are really small, it can be really tricky. Don't worry too much about making a mess. I mean, we're making dice, we're working with resin. It's gonna be messy. That's just the way it goes. You want to fill these up all the way to the top, preferably not leaving any space. So here I'm sliding my little piece of acetate over the top and putting it in place. This just keeps the resin from dripping straight into the hole. Then using a little bit of bonding UV resin, you can use regular as well. I'm just putting a little amount on there, letting it go over the edge, and then using my lamp to just freeze that in place. Don't worry too much about this going over onto the rest of the sphere. It's all going to disappear as soon as you get it in the regular resin. What I'm doing now is putting more on top. And then I'm going to spread it down over the edge so that the entire piece of plastic is covered. It's really, really critical to make sure that these are fully sealed. If you have even the smallest leak, what you're going to end up with is a white patch where the water hits the resin. It will cure, but it's going to leave an artifact, and you don't want that. So once you've got all of them covered, get it underneath your lamp and give it a good solid run. I actually go twice with the UV resin lamp and just make sure that those are all the way cured. And once it's done, you have your babies. So we'll pull these down. Here's the mold. Go ahead and mix up whatever your resin amount calls for. If you're doing like an extra, like I'm doing a dice cup with mine. I'm filling these about a third full. And make sure when you're doing your color, you don't want to go too dark. Otherwise, you won't be able to see the effects. You want color, but not not to an excess. Now you're going to take the matching bulbs and push them into the mold. This is something you'll want to know ahead of time, which one goes into which opening. So in my particular set, I have 3 that are individual sizes, and then I have 4 that are all the same. So I put my unusual ones in first. And once everybody is in, you're gonna fill it just like you would do a regular dice pour at this point. You're just gonna top it over the top. Make sure you have a good coating all over the entire base. And this is of course for doing the cap mold or the squish mold method. Sprues would be different. And then give it a good squeeze. You're going to make sure that you're working out any bubbles that may possibly have gotten trapped underneath. And let that sit for a little bit. Go ahead and coat the top where all your numbers are as well. You always want to make sure you have excess here. That'll help you avoid bubbles. And again, just give it time to sit and all the bubbles work themselves out. I'm doing a quick spritz of isopropyl alcohol over the top to get rid of the bubbles before capping. And you want to make sure you match your keys so that your lid goes on appropriately. Fold her down and give it a good squish. Yes, your excess comes out. And I tend to put a little weight on top and make sure it sits evenly, just to make sure that all of my casts come out well. Into the pressure pot it goes, at least in my case. You can certainly do a desktop if you want, but you are risking some bubbles. These are going to be in the pressure pot overnight at 40 psi. So the full duration of my curing. Then we pull it out the next morning. Give the mold a little crack. What this is doing is it's popping the flashing that is in between the dice. And you can see some of it kind of stick in there. And just gently prise it away as much as you can get. At this particular point, detach from the dice. It just makes it a little bit easier for the cleanup afterwards. Here I am popping the dice away from the numbers in the mold. Doing this helps to preserve the mold for use a little bit longer and keep those numbers from tearing, as they are very fine. And then we just slowly pop all of the dice out. Take your time with this, there's no rush, and the gentler you are, the longer your mold will last, and the more your mold will like you. Once they're all out, give them a good shake. Make sure that they have some nice motion to them. And those are beautiful. But we're not all the way done. Got to put numbers on. So after a little bit of cleanup, what I'm doing here is taking some acrylic paint, pushing it onto the face of the dice and down into the individual numbers. And then using a disinfectant wipe, I just swipe it on there and it gets rid of the excess paint. The only paint that will remain is that which is inside of the groove. It's a lot easier this way than to try and pinpoint the individual little ruts of each number. See how that works? So much faster and easier. And this is what it looks like after I've finished applying all 6 of the numbers on the D6. So go through all of your dice, and once they're all done, just give them some time to dry. Depending upon the type of paint you use, can take a few minutes or a couple hours. Then with another wipe, nice clean one, go ahead and give them a good scrub. And what this will do is it will take care of any paint streaks that you might have missed when doing just the simple swipe method. Sorry, I really like how those sparkle. They're so pretty. Look at how that works inside of its dish. It looks so unique. And that's one of the benefits of doing a liquid core, is it is going to be unique. And when you roll it, it looks really special. I mean, regular dice don't move like that. So that's how you make a basic set of liquid cores. At least one methodology. I know that there's others out there, but this is what I do. You can do lots of different inserts, lots of different colors on your outside, lots of different colors of the numbers. The range of these is truly as vivid as your imagination can possibly be. And these babies sparkle. I had to turn the lights down because my camera doesn't really pick out the true colors. So what are you going to pour? Have fun with this method, and if you want, toss me a link and show me what you're creating. Happy crafting!